Hello and welcome back to the Blooming Journal Live. It's me, Colleen Watson, president of Century Plant Business Services. And I'm so excited. We're in July. So that means we are on the countdown to the launching of the new VIP product. I'm so excited. We're officially going on July 29th. So we got a month. So I thought, we'd spend this month talking about it and what we're going to do with it and how it's going to move forward so that you can understand what's coming down the pike. Today we're going to talk about what the product of this is. Now, it sounds very strange because technically the safety net is the product, right? But a safety net is, in this case, often, a bunch of documents and things. It's more a state of mind than an actual physical thing, but there is a physical representation. So we're going to be creating a NOK box, right? So you're like, what's a NOK box? NOK stands for next of kin, right? I got this idea from a local estate attorney. She's awesome. Her name is Jessie Rember. I gave you her information in the show notes because we believe in, giving credit where credit is due. I was a librarian. You don't, you cite your sources. It's just what you do. So Jessie is, I went to her talk and she talked about this. And basically, this is a physical representation of the safety net. It is literally a box, physically, or it's a file digitally on your computer, preferably both, where you put everything someone would need to be able to pick it up and run your life. Right? Because in an emergency situation, you don't want to say, okay, my passwords are here and all of the paperwork is here. And oh, here's the number for this guy. Like, it is going to make their life so much easier to just say, here's the NOK box. Everything you need is in there, right? You can pick it up and run my life and my business and know what's going on. Now, NOK boxes are great things, but they don't work alone. They work in concert with you having talks with people. Remember, we talked about the talk? That is something you're still going to need to be doing, but let's pick it up and ask ourselves, what's in the NOK box? What do you need to have there? So you're going to need information about all of your financial situation. So you're going to need to know your accountant, your bookkeeper. If you have a tax attorney, you need to know, have a list of all your important contacts with that, your insurance guy, your business broker if you're in the process of selling your business, anybody that's important to you right now. If you have an office and there's a leasing off, to do the maintenance, you need that information. You need the lease. Like, you need all of the important numbers so that whoever is taking over can contact these people and say, okay, so John is in the hospital. I am, temporarily taking over. I have the legal documents necessary. What's going on? And you know who to call and what's available. They need to know all about your insurances. So you need to have, the information about, any kind of housing insurance, car insurance, IP insurance, life insurance, who to contact for all of that information. And then you also need to have your documented emergency plan. So you have, it's basically a thing of, okay, in this situation, this person's going to do this person's going to do that. Here's all of their numbers. This is also really important for if you're in a situation, particularly if you have children and you have a short-term guardian. Do you have a short-term guardian? What is a short-term guardian? A short-term guardian is the person who you've designated who they're not going to, raise your children permanently, but in an emergency situation where you need help just for a couple of weeks or a couple months, they're the person that is going to, keep the fires burning in your house till you can get back to full-time parenting. And that needs to be established, and that person needs legal information. And, so they also need to know, like, who's my kid's pediatrician? If their kid has medical issues, what are, the medicines that they're taking? What's my pharmacy? Any specialist you're going to? Like, all of that stuff needs to be in there. Things like your will, maybe you want that, in a safe or whatever, but you need to be like, have a piece of paper that says the will is here, right? Because, your important paperwork, that, if you say die and you can't get it, your family can't get it replaced, that's really important for military records. You need to have those in a safe place that they can access. And you need, to say, this document is here, here's how you access it. You also need, this is going to sound strange, you need the access to the social media. So here's an interesting thing about your social media is that if you happen to pass away, you've done the right things, you have a will, you have an executor, that executor can't close down your Facebook, your TikTok, your Instagram. You need to designate in those services who can take over when you die and shut down your accounts. And you're like, well, that's strange. Well, if you're a company whose valuation is based on how many users you have signed up, they don't care if the user is dead, right? It's not about active users. It's just about users. So that's also something to keep in mind. So all of that stuff needs to be in your NOK Box. It's a lot, right? This is a lot of information, but you need to think like, if I'm unconscious, who's going to be, where are they going to find all the information to run my life? You need to create it, and you're going to create it with a NOK Box. So that is the product, the physical digital manifestation of what the work we're going to be doing about this. So I have a question for you today. How close are you to doing this? I mean, I'm sure you have, your information somewhere. Is it easy to access? What's happening? So share below with the idea of how close are you to having a NOK Box, and do the important people know about it? If the answer is not very, then maybe you want to talk to me about it. I'm just asking for a quick 15-minute meet and greet to see if this is something you want to work at. This link is also in the show notes. I'm just asking for 15 minutes of your time. I'm not asking for a lot, just to see if we're aligned, right? If we are, we'll talk about what that looks like further. But I would love to have a chat with you about this. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to get this off the ground. July 29th is going to be far away and really soon all at the same time. You know how that is when anticipation plays a role in your life. But I'm so excited. Thank you so much. And remember, rock stars, it is never too late to bloom. Have a wonderful day. Happy 4th of July tomorrow. If you're out and about and, don't see this till next week, I hope you had a rockin' time. I hope you, saw some fireworks or some drones. God, I love drones because fireworks give me headaches. But I hope you have a wonderful holiday. We'll be talking soon, and have a good day. Bye-bye.